I have made a Stacklands-like card game experience in the span of only 5 days. This game was a submission for the Game of Week, and the topic was the Wizard's Factory. As usual, my mindset was how to be quirky, how to be original, and how to be so different from all the other participants so my game stands out. And then I work on all the technical difficulties I faced afterwards. I decided to make a card game this week because nobody with a sane mindset would try to complete a whole card game in just a few days. Right? With the cards idea in mind, I immediately thought of recent popular card games like Balatro and Inscription. But when I also combine the considerations of a factory-like experience, one game stands out to me from all the indie card games: Stacklands from Sockpop. The reason why Stacklands is a very unique card game is because it combines the tactical card game idea with real-time crafting and real-time combat. All of these separate concepts have already existed in their own categories, but Stacklands is one of the only indie games that try to combine these concepts into one. Players stack cards to combine them into recipes, feed the humans created every time cycle, and defeat enemies in an action battle between cards of various stats. However, since the topic is the Wizard's Factory, I decided to add the elements of magic into my design, using the idea of jujutsu, shikigamis, and charms from Japan. With that, the base design of my game is set. But when I really started to plan the whole game, things seemed very wrong. Everything I need to complete this game are techniques I've never used before in my previous projects. I began to doubt myself and think that I've made an extremely bad decision of taking too much risks, opting for card games in such a short period of time. Can I make it? From here, I slapped myself and got back to work. I started to plan and listed all of the technical difficulties I would potentially face during this process. First, the whole game relies on a smooth card management system, so cards being able to drag and drop with stacking and auto-snapping provides the foundation of the game. Next is a card auto-battling feature. I found the battling in Stacklands to be very interesting and unique, so I decided to keep this in my game with the additional ideas of spell cards that can intercept battles. I also need a recipe UI and a way to unlock them effectively that boosts the progression of the game and keeps the player engaged. Since card games are also very reliant on visual effects, I also had to learn about making dissolve shader graphs, trail renderers, particle system. These are all things that I have never used before in the Unity engine. But the most important thing when it comes to a complete fun experience is a progression system, with new exciting features to unlock throughout the game and elements of anticipation to keep players wondering and progressing. I began to realize I might have heavily overscoped for this week. I was originally going to make 100 cards, learning from Stacklands' experience of having a total of 118 cards for their first release. Then I moved down to aiming for 50 cards, then 36 cards. Things seemed still impossible, but I did not want to cut it down even further. So I decided to contact a very talented 8-bit game music YouTuber, KB3K, and my Hong Kong friend Actsol, who is the best student in a visual arts degree, to help out with the background music and the art assets. After spending a day for the design concept, I started the first day of work on making a JSON reader due to the need for a better structure for reading card data. Then I started making card drag and drop movements and the stacking mechanisms. After that, I made a board manager script that maps all the existing cards on the screen, as well as a JSON reader that records recipe data. With all that settled in another day, I could finally feel comfortable to work on the actual stats and recipes of the game, together with a complete progression line of Shikigamis and bosses to fight. I designed the game to have mainly 3 phases. In the first phase, the player learns about the ecosystem of the game, where they have to buy incant packs and sell items from the packs to gain more money, and buy inspiration packs to discover new recipes. From there, the player learns to craft multiple conjurators, which are necessary for parallel crafting, and then craft an enemy that drops an essential material to create a pentagram, which unlocks the next phase. In Phase 2, players unlock a new set of recipes, stronger Shikigamis to fight with, and a new boss that unlocks new spells and a recipe to create the Rift Gate, which reveals the secret area on the game board. In the final phase, the player can start exploring the Rift Gate, craft the strongest Shikigamis, new spells, an even stronger boss, and a final boss that can easily annihilate the whole squad. To be able to finish the combat system within the time frame, I decided to make a budget version of the Stacklands combat, where every battlefield is limited to a 1 vs 1 situation. After a few days of hard work, I found out that I kept surprising myself to be able to finish each difficult task within a few hours, so I decided to add or change a few different features to make the gameplay more smooth and more fun to play with. An auto-stack feature that keeps the board clean and easy to manage. I made also blank charms much easier to earn money by producing 2 instead of 1 elemental charms to speed up the early game. Then, enemies now appear from packs randomly to create more action to catch players' attention right from the start of the game. In the end, the game turns out to be very complete and addicting to play with, so I'm really happy about the results. I also learned a lot of new techniques throughout the process, and I'm looking forward to develop my game making techniques even further in the future. I'm Snoala, a new Hong Kong game dev. This is my first time making a devlog, so if you like my game or the video, feel free to like and subscribe to my channel for more updates in the future. I have linked the download page of the game and my 2 friends' information down in the descriptions below. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys in the future. See you guys!